Hello everyone, my name is Just Missner from OffMetaBuilds, and today I wanted to go over the build that I have been maining for the start of this league and chat a little bit about why I chose this build and how we got here, because the build I am playing, I think some people would consider it as meta. I didn't intend for it to be meta. Before the league started, I was looking into what I wanted to play, and I saw this is before we had access to the passive tree, and I saw the Blackflame talent, and I knew that I wanted to play some kind of fire spell with the Blackflame talent, and it looked like Fireball was going to be that. So I went into the start of this league thinking Fireball, Chaos Damage, Fireball Bloodmage, thinking it wouldn't be meta, and unfortunately it has turned out to be a bit of a meta spec. Now, I am playing a variant of this. It is similar to Garotha's build. I'll go over exactly what we did to get to where we are. But yeah, this build is fully capable of clearing all of the content in the game. I've cleared tier 15 maps. I've been working on the pinnacle bosses. I've been working on some other characters as well and farming currency to gear those other characters so we can make more videos. But we'll just get right into it. So what is this build? So this build utilizes Fireball, and what we do is we are taking Living Bomb and putting it on enemies to get ourselves a Fire Infusion. When we have Fire Infusion, we are throwing out fireballs to basically explode all over the screen and just burn everything down. It's glorious. It looks absolutely magnificent. It does a ton of damage. It is very strong, and it's been a ton of fun to play. So let's get into the passives, and then we'll jump into the skills. So when I was leveling, I went up the right side here like you would for pretty much any spell damage, picked up these Chaos nodes. When I was leveling, I was playing Contagion and Essence Drain. So I hit this point here, went over to the side, picked up these Chaos damage nodes, and went up to this point right here to pick up the 12% for skills to fire 2 additional projectiles, as well as these ones around here as well. It just made the Essence Drain shoot up more frequently and hit more targets. It was really nice. But we basically continued up the tree to this point to pick up this right here. This is what makes the build. Fire spells convert 100% of fire damage to chaos damage. Chaos damage from fire spells contributes to flammability and ignite magnitudes. Ignite inflicted with fire spells deals chaos damage. So we are taking all of the chaos nodes in the tree, working our way up. We're also taking curse nodes, and as you can see, some of my skills here are greened out. These ones right here, as well as these ones down here, as well as these ones up here. Now the reason why these are greened out is because we are using weapon swap. So if we look at some of the gear, well, we'll talk about weapon swap shortly here. But the idea is we are picking up, this is important too, maximum fire infusions, pretty much everything we can take to increase our crit damage and our chaos damage. We're working our way over here. Yeah, so I kind of want to talk a little bit, I guess I should talk about the Ascendancy as well. We went Bloodmage, and the first node, you get this node and you kind of work your way down. So I went down the right-hand side first for the max life, as well as the 25% of loss from hits is prevented, and that much life is lost over 4 seconds instead. Then went down to pick, I guess we went over here second to pick our base critical hit chance for spells. It is 15%. Then we went down here, gain additional max life equal to 100% of the energy shield on an equipped body armor. And then finally, we pick this up here, which is 10% of spell damage is leached as life. We have a ton of life, a ton of energy shields, and actually quite a bit of evasion as well. This just helps us sustain our cost. Basically, with a Blood Mage, part of your spell cost is taken from your life. So we have a ton of sustain. My build looked a little different before. We're here now, but I was going heavier into the energy shield nodes, and I wasn't going any evasion whatsoever and just kind of trying to max out my energy shield. The only problem is it took a lot of investment to get nodes to sustain our energy shield. Like all of these energy shield regen nodes. like these nodes up here, our energy shield recharge rate. I would have removed all of these nodes and all of these nodes and taken these energy shield recharge nodes. And even with all of that, I found that I think I had like 7,000 energy shield, and even with all of that in the recharge, I felt like I was taking more damage than with the evasion. So why did we go evasion? We don't have a ton of it. We only have 18%. When our energy shield is on recharge, we have about 21% from one of these passives right over here. I think it's this one right here. Yeah, we have more evasion when we have energy shield recharging. But we are using a support gem in our fireball right here called Blindside. Supported skills have 15%. Supported skills have 15% more critical damage with hits against blinded enemies. Supported skills have 15% more critical. Oh no, wait, we're blinding. Sorry, my bad. We're blinding with this, with our living bomb. We're blinding with living bomb. So when we living bomb an enemy, we are blinding them when they are blinded. The way evasion works is our evasion is based off of the enemy's accuracy rating. When they're blinded, they have less accuracy, and our evasion works better. So I found this to be quite a decent setup. We're blinding enemies, we're blinding them constantly, and they're just not really hitting us as frequently. I found that to be a little bit better than just pumping into pure energy shield. I was dying more frequently with the energy shield than with this setup here. So not a ton of evasion, but we're counteracting that with quite a large health pool, quite a lot of energy shield, and we're also, every time we kill an enemy, we are regenerating a ton of life. I'll jump into the skill shortly here, but we have life remnants. Basically, anytime we kill an enemy, it drops a remnant. When we pick it up, we heal. And our spells leech. So a ton of sustain going on here. This is a good mapping setup. There are some things that I don't have that we could optimize this build if I really wanted to sink more currency into it. But I was trying, I guess that's one thing I should talk about as well with this build is the possibility to scale its damage is incredibly high. If I want to, like, you could invest as much currency as you want to in this. You could dump, 60 divines, 70 divines into it if you want to. I have been trying to pour as little currency into this as possible. I don't have incredible gear, so I've kind of stopped where I wanted to stop with this build. I just want to be able to farm tier 15 maps and tier 4 pinnacle bosses in order to farm currency to fund my other builds. So this is kind of what I've landed on here with the passive tree. I guess some more notable passives is as we go down here, we're picking up the energy shield and evasion nodes. My next level, I'll grab this critical node over here. And then, yeah, just kind of we're working our way up this way to pick up these nodes right here. Now, I guess we could talk about the weapon swap. So why are we weapon swapping? On our weapon swap 1, which is this one right here, we have placed a ton of critical damage nodes. Critical chance, critical damage on these nodes on my weapon slot 1. So, which is this one right here. The important thing with the gear, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but this one and this focus. So with that, in my weapon slot 1, we have these nodes here for increased spell damage and cast speed, these nodes here for critical hit. We have this whole section down here for more crit. We're looking to get as much crit as we can on our weapon slot 1, as well as these nodes right here, and these nodes down here, as well as these nodes up here, all primarily based around critical hit chance and critical damage. Now, with the way weapon swap works, is if I go to an ability, let's say Fireball, and I click it, right here I can check weapon, oh, you can't see it because my screen is in the way, there we go. Right down here, we can check weapon slot 1, right there. And when we check that, this is going to use the skill, so Fireball on weapon slot 1 is going to use the skill with our skill points on weapon slot 1. So as you can see, when I switch, we've hit these green ones. When I go back to weapon slot 1, there's these red ones here. So all of our weapon slot 1 is based around crit. And our weapon slot 2, which again, when we switch our weapon, is all based around curse magnification and curse duration. We picked up these curse nodes here. Picked up more curse nodes over here, curse nodes over here. And the reason why some curse nodes over here is because on our second weapon slot, we are using this weapon right here and this focus. And the whole idea with these two is that spells have a 25% chance to inflict withered, and this one just has critical weakness. Our critical hit spells apply critical weakness. Now, on our weapon slot 2, we are using, oh, my bad. Yeah, Despair. Despair is on our weapon slot 2. So when we use Despair, it'll automatically, so right now, this is my weapon slot 1. When we use Despair, it'll automatically switch us to our weapon slot 2. And as you can see, we have a nice, large, quick casting Despair there. I'll talk about why we're doing that in a minute. And then when we right-click here to shoot our Fireball, it just automatically switches us back to weapon slot 1. This happens seamlessly. It doesn't take anything. It's just when we press the button, it switches us back. So the reason why we're doing that is because our Fireball, we want to be scaling with as much crit as we possibly can. All of the crit nodes are with our Fireball, and with our Despair, we want to be scaling as much curses as we possibly can, as much curse magnitude that we possibly can with these. It's really, really helpful to do that. So we have Living Bomb and we have Fireball equipped to our weapon slot 1, and then we have Despair and our Frost Wall equipped to our weapon slot 2. So with the passives out of the way, I'd like to talk a little bit about the gear. Or I guess we'll go into the skills. So what are we using here? As a Blood Mage, we have Life Remnants. Life Remnants, when we kill an enemy, it spawns a little globe. When we pick that globe up, we heal. We're supporting that with Harmonic Resonance, just for more Remnants. We're supporting that with Remnant Potency. I like Remnant Potency 3, which is... that has 40% increase effect, but it occurs 3 seconds after picking up the orb on the ground. We have Clarity for mana regeneration while it's active, and we have Cannibalism 2, so while this is active, we are recovering more life on kill. And this is active all the time. When we kill, it's active. We're not using Volatile Dead or Chaos Bolt. They've came with the weapons. We're using Siphon Elements. We do need... remnants. We do need remnants. Where are we here? The elemental infusions. That's what we are using here. So we are using the fire infusions. Our siphon elements just gives us more infusions. We're supporting that with harmonic remnants again, and we're supporting that with fire mastery. We're using despair. It's our curse. It gives us more chaos damage when we hit enemies with it. That's our big circle on weapon slot 2 there. We're supporting that with efficiency, just for less cost. We're supporting that with focused curses, so that the zones erupt, or the curse zones from supported skills erupt after 50% less delay. It just makes them pop quicker. We're supporting that with heightened curses, so that it has a stronger magnitude, and prolonged duration, so that it has a longer effect duration. Now into the damage of the builds. Our main damaging skill is Fireball. Fireball we are supporting with Consider Casting. Less cast speed, more damage. We're supporting that with Unleash, which is every time we spend 200%, supported skills gain a seal every 200% of cast time, up to 2 seals. This gives us more damage. We are using Sione's Temper. So this gains a Wild Shard when we cast supported skills. What Wild Shards do, and you'll see this in the demonstration when I'm out there killing things, but every once in a while, we don't shoot a fireball. Fireballs just explode from around us in a circle and explode outwards. This is really, really great for clearing. I really, really enjoy this. We're then supporting that with Blindside, so that we do more damage against blinded enemies, and Extraction, which is more chaos damage, and sacrifices 10% more life. That's fine. We sacrifice a lot of life to cast, but we heal constantly. Now, the other part of the build here is Living Bomb. This is what we're using to get our fire infusions. So when we are mapping, we put 2 living bombs on an enemy, 1, 2, and then fireball. And then once they die, we pick up the infusion, and then same thing, 2 living bombs, fireball, 2 living bombs, fireball. We're supporting our living bombs with overabundance, which allows us to put two living bombs on an enemy. We're supporting them with harmonic remnants, an additional chance to create remnants, which is important. Blind, because we're blinding enemies with it, and efficiency, less cost, is very nice. Now, snap I had to generate more infusions off of enemies. So when I'm out there and I'm mapping, or when you're mapping, if you try this build, you might kill a pack and not have any infusions. You can snap a dead corpse for up to a few seconds after they've died. So you might see a whole pack of mobs on the ground. You can, and they're dead, but they have purple fire on them. You can snap them and get fire infusions off of every single one. So I've supported snap with consider casting, just less cast speed, and harmonic remnants for more remnants. Now, the reason why we have Frostwall is because for single target, you can Frostwall behind a boss and shoot fireballs at it, and it will do damage. There is another, I guess I'll go over it real quick. With Frostwall, I'm supporting it with Magnified Area, just for the area of effect. Cooldown recovery, so we have it faster. Spell Cascade, less area of effect, less damage, but it's the positioning, I like it better. And Blind, again, more blind. Now, what I've been using for single target instead, I found this to be a little bit more fun, is Ember Fusillade. So when you're coming up to a boss, you just start precasting this, make sure it goes up to 9 stacks, and it will shoot off and do a ton of single target damage. You can play with either. Sometimes I'll do a Frostwall, charge out my Ember Fusillade, and while that's going off, shoot a Fireball into the Frostwall, and it just absolutely nukes bosses. It does a ton of damage. As you can see, our damage will go up. It scales quite heavily. I think we scale into the 30,000s or so with Fireball, and into the 60,000s with Ember Fusillade. I'll show you in the example when we're mapping. But with the Ember Fusillade, we're doing Fire Mastery for more support. We're doing Compressed Duration for the less skill effect durations. Consider Casting, so less cast speed, but more damage. And we're doing Rapid Casting, just to have the increased cast speed. And this is kind of what I have been using for my single target for bosses. Now, I had Mana Remnants because this build costs a ton of mana. An absolute ton of mana. Oh, I guess I should say we're using Wither as well. Wither's really nice just because that's increased chaos damage with things that are withered. So with that, we just have more skill effect duration with prolonged duration, and Chaos Mastery to have the increase. Something to note with your curse, with your despair, you want to be aware. Where was I looking? You want to be aware of your curse level. You cannot just use a level 1 anymore. You want to be aware to make sure that your curses are working, so pay attention to the level at which your curses are applying to the enemies around. Okay, so if you have the Spirit, you can. I used to run Mana Remnants. It was really, really nice because this build has mana problems. This build costs a ton of mana, and even with the flasks, it was rough. It was rough out there. I've combated that with my gems. I have 2 gems that. When I got these gems, they were relatively cheap. Right now, they're probably worth a couple of divines each. The most important thing if you're having mana issues on your gems is this right here. Recover 2% of maximum mana on kill. So I have 1 there, and I have 1 there. So it's 4% of maximum mana on kill, and I save my flask for bosses if I need it. I think these gems are probably perfect for the build. We've got... where was I looking? There we go. We have a pretty high damage chaos roll. We have a perfect spell damage roll. We have a pretty good critical spell damage roll. And then on this one as well, perfect spell damage roll, a high chaos damage roll, and it could be better, but the critical hit chance is great. So if you can get gems like this, it will be absolutely huge for the build. But if you're struggling, you can get a 2% of max mana on kill gem for cheap if you sacrifice on the damage. But I think critical hit chance is probably more important than critical hit damage. We really want to get as high a critical hit chance as we can. The critical hit chance applies to every single projectile we fire. When those fireballs explode, they shoot out projectiles everywhere, all over the screen, and they can all crit. It's really, really nice. So I don't rock Mana Remnants anymore. I don't have mana issues with those gems. But you could sacrifice either Withering Presence or Despair. I would probably say Withering Presence is less damage overall. Or not, sorry, not Despair. Siphon Elements. I think Siphon Elements is more important. I think Wither would be what I sacrifice for Mana Remnants if you wanted to run that. So with that, let's jump into the gear real quick. I have pretty standard gear. With the new crafting system, you can craft some incredible pieces for relatively cheap. So with the wand, this is my weapon set 1. This is what I'm shooting fireballs with. This is where all my damage comes from. The important thing is level of all fire spell skills on the wand. Now, the way Blackflame works, this passive here, is you will scale the damage of your fireball with fire spell skills. So as far as spell skills are concerned, you want the fire spell skills, but you want chaos damage, not fire damage. So you want to scale this with gem level as well as chaos damage. So you don't want chaos, you don't want a level of chaos spell skills, because at this it doesn't count your fireball or your living bomb as chaos spells. It counts them as fire spells, but they scale off chaos damage. It's kind of confusing. I hope they change that in the future. But the most important thing on the wand is high spell damage, critical spell damage, cast speed, because we are taking things to reduce our cast speed. So you want some cast speed on there, but the most important is the level 3 of all fire skills, more if you can get it. And then decently high spell damage. This wand was not very expensive. You can make one of these relatively cheaply. The focus, also important. Spell damage, chaos damage, level 3 to all spells. I love that this has a decently high critical hit chance, and it could be better critical spell damage. That bottom one, increased spell damage while wielding melee weapons, absolutely pointless. It was just a roll that came on this here. So that is your main weapon set. That's what you're looking for. You want spell damage, cast speed, critical spell damage. But the most important thing is your fire skills on the wand and your all spell skills on the focus. Now, I shared earlier that I decided to go for a evasion, energy shield, life style of build. If you wanted to pump all energy shield, you would replace these pieces here with just straight energy shield. You would remove these nodes here in your passive tree, these nodes down here in your passive tree, as well as these nodes up here, and you would pump things that give you energy shields, regeneration rate, and maximum energy shield. There's a ton of them up here. You can work your way around on this side of the tree. I just found I'm going to start pathing up to here. I'm going to take these nodes here. I'm going to start pathing towards, where was I looking? Towards some more, there's a lot more chaos damage. I'm going to path up this side here, and then I think I'm going to go, where were we looking? Up here, towards these nodes right here. These chaos damage nodes. So, yeah, so as far as the gear, I'm going a combination of energy shield evasion. Maxing out resistances is incredibly important. And I like the rarity. The only thing I'm going pure energy shield is my chest for the passive bonus on the Bloodmage skill tree. Just to get the extra life. You get a ton of life from energy shield on your chest. But yeah, resistance is important, rarity is important. There is something else I do need to talk about here. As far as, so the gloves, we've got evasion, energy shield, life, rarity, some resistances, some life. The belt, again, I like 3 charms. It's not that important. The armor's not important either, but mana is important, resistance is important, life important. Boots, I think I'd like to go for 35 move speed. I just haven't found boots better than this. So I'm not willing to invest a ton of currency into them. But 35 move speed would be best. Rarity, evasion, energy shield, and resistances. The rings, kind of the same thing. Chaos resist, life, mana, rarity. That's what I prioritize on my rings. If you wanted to, I'm in a spot where like my rings do so much of my resistances, they're hard to replace. But if you could get more cast speed on your rings, that will scale your damage. Now, if you wanted to run mana remnants, you could put Spirit on your amulet. I got very lucky with this amulet. I think this amulet's going for something like... well, let's take a look right now. I think it's incredibly expensive right now. 300 divines for a really expensive one, 5 annulments for the cheapest. So when I got this, it was dirt cheap. It was like under... It was like 60 exalts or something. It was the start of the league. I got it really early. It was dirt cheap. This is the most defensively broken piece of gear you can get for this build. If you buy any one piece of gear for this build, if you want to invest in any one thing that's going to absolutely change your build, invest in this. It doesn't even have to be that great of one. 14% of missing life before hitting an enemy. That's great. The most important stat to roll on this is how much your recovery of missing life before being hit by an enemy. Getting as high of a roll as you possibly can on this is the most important thing. And what this does is so if you're sitting there surrounded by enemies and they're attacking you, whatever percent that is, so 20% of my missing life, I will recover before the enemy hits me. So if my life is down here, an enemy goes to hit me, and before the hit connects, I recover that life. If I'm surrounded by like 40 enemies, and I'll try and show it in a clip, where I'll just stand there surrounded and you'll watch my life ball just absolutely yo-yo as the enemies are hitting me, because so many enemies are hitting me and this necklace just keeps procking. And my life just goes up and up and up and down and up and down and up and down like a yo-yo. But it's defensively, without a doubt, the best piece of gear you can have for this build. It's been the biggest thing that I've had that helps me farm. The currency I've had a ton more divines, but I pumped a bunch of divines into crafting. That hasn't seemed to work out very well. And I pumped a bunch of divines into 3 other builds that I'm working on right now to showcase on the channel shortly. So, yeah. And then, of course, your flasks. Don't sleep on your flasks. I think the mana flask is more important as we heal so much. But yeah, that's essentially the gear, passives, and the skills. Now, what does it look like? Let's just grab a random tier 15 map. I don't know. Let's find, like... What should we find? Sure, let's find something like that. Let's just throw a tier 15 map in and walk through what that looks like and how the build performs and why I've been having so much fun with it. Let's just find like something with a boss would be nice that I don't really want to lose too much. Woodland. Okay, let's just try this. So, okay. So we're going to jump in. We're going to show what this looks like in practice. So we're walking up. We're just walking around. As soon as you see an enemy, we are living bomb, 2 living bombs, and dropping fireballs. 2 living bombs, dropping fireballs. We need that first infusion. Once we get that infusion, we'll despair, and we'll shoot fireballs. And that's the way the fireballs came out from me that time. Is what our unique gem is doing. The wild shards. I could just stand here and show you. Oh, maybe I won't. Okay. I'd like to find a group that isn't using, that are not casters. So that was the wild shards. That's what they look like when they proc. It's like a row of fireballs that come out from around us. So let's see. We'll just let them hit us. Oh, we're frozen. The amulet just, it's such a big defensive stat. Now when we kill, we're picking up all those red orbs. Those are healing us. We're gonna despair difficult enemies, and this is kind of like what the build looks like. Now as you can see the purple flames on the corpses there, if I snap, oh I snapped too late. When my snap comes off cooldown, I'll show you. But what we're looking for is some purple flames on enemies here. Now if I snap these, all those red fire orbs on the ground, those are fire infusions that we can pick up to charge up our fireball. So we're basically just walking around, we're snapping when we need extra infusions, and we are popping 2 living bombs and shooting out fireballs. that's essentially the build. For anything that poses an actual threat, we're going to throw our Wither or our Despair on the ground, curse them. They'll take a massive amount of increased damage. And we are just throwing fireballs. It's a very cozy build, very comfortable. Doesn't take a lot of work. Nothing fancy going on. There's the weapon swap tech, which is nothing new. If you've never done the weapon swaps, it's super, super easy to do. When you're doing weapon swap, you just make sure you have 24 skill points free, and you click this button right there. When you click that, you are now allocating weapon slot points for weapon set 1. When you're done, you click it. Then you click this one, and the same 24 points you've just put in your weapon set 1 will now be available to put in weapon set 2. When you're done, you click that, and you've then allocated points to each weapon set. I played some builds last season that they could have benefited greatly from the weapon swap tech, and yeah, I just didn't. I didn't use them. I didn't really know how to. I mean, I'm not an advanced player by any means necessary. I'm just kind of trying to have fun, trying to farm currency, trying to learn how to craft builds, things like that. So I know this is not the most efficient way to farm these maps, but for a league start, it was incredibly fun. It's very different from what I played, and the only thing is, I was sure this was going to be a off-meta build, but it's kind of not been. It's kind of taken over the meta. So let's jump into a boss. So what we'll do is, there's 2. We're gonna charge up our Ember Fuselage. We're gonna hit them with Despair. We're gonna pop. I wonder, did I pick a map that has crit? Oh, there we go. As soon as we crit them, they go down. Oh, neat. I've never seen that one before. That wasn't bad at all. We may as well finish up the map just to see. I want to take a look real quick. Okay. I seem to have not been getting very lucky with my crits. Crit is a big way to scale the damage in this build, so we'll watch our fireball damage as we find packs. Let's see. We're not going to find one now, are we? Okay. Our fireball damage does go up quite high. It will continue to go up. It's really nice. Like I should show you guys an Abyss map where we can really get this thing going. It does ramp up quite nicely. Oh, nice. The only thing is, in order for this build to work, we need to be getting infusions. If we're not getting infusions, we're in trouble. So we can be using our snap if we ever need to get more infusions. Yeah. Now again, one thing I kind of want to say again is that the more you invest into this build, the more the mines you invest, the better gear you get, you can scale this thing like incredibly high. I have been, of course. Oh, you want to play? Oh. All right. That's it. I'll come back later and finish the rituals, but I just wanted to give you guys a little example there of kind of how the build plays. I've done a bunch of pinnacles already. I haven't done tier 4 yet. We're working towards that. I think the things that I can do to scale the damage higher is gem level. I think I'm only using level 19 gems, level 18 gems. That was level 19. So gem level as well as crit. We could scale the build higher with more crit. I think more critical hit chance would be really nice. I could sacrifice things like rarity to get more crit, but I wanted the 100% rarity because this is the build that I am using to farm with. I actually want to take a look real quick. What's that thing called? I wonder how much that thing's worth. Anything? Anything at all? Nothing. That's okay. Yeah, so that's just a little bit about the build, what I've been doing for my league start. One thing I want to show you guys that we are working on here, that we will showcase in the near future, that will definitely not be a meta build, is we are working on a Totem Warbringer, which has been a ton of fun. This will be the next build, will be a Poison Burst Arrow Pathfinder that has cost me absolutely nothing to gear, and basically costs nothing to gear in the end game. And then we are going to do, I think the thing that I've done on this channel that has the best reception so far was the Incinerate Chronomancer. We're going to remake the Incinerate Chronomancer with Chaos, with the Blackflame passive, and see if we can scale it with Chaos damage. So those are some things to come. If you guys have any builds that you would like to see, or any feedback, any ways that you see that I can improve this build and make it better, I would love to hear about it in the comments. Again, we're trying to go for as little investment, as little currency investment as we can, as minimal as possible. Because I know you could scale this with an immense amount of currency, but as minimalistic as possible would be best. So yeah, with that, I want to thank you guys all for tuning in, and we'll see you next week with the next build. Have a wonderful day.